And agricultural news from agview.net. During the cattle industry summer business meeting in Denver, they identified a policy that would help resolve concerns about live cattle marketing issues and lead the industry to a more robust price discovery. NCBA's Live Cattle Marketing Committee considered several proposals, each aimed at encouraging greater volume of negotiated trade. After an intense debate, the committee and the NCBA Board of Directors unanimously passed a policy that supports voluntary efforts to improve negotiated trade with the potential for mandates in the future if robust regional negotiation trade numbers are not reached by the industry. Two other market-related policy changes were adopted. A resolution supporting creation of a cattle contract library was approved. Also, livestock mandatory reporting policy was amended to support withholding weekly price reports when certain levels of negotiated trade were not achieved. Additional policy discussions were held throughout the week during various other committee meetings. Now, a resolution submitted by the Kansas Livestock Association and other state affiliates supporting the expansion and further development of U.S. cattle trace was adopted. The U.S. cattle trace, an industry-driven animal disease traceability system. Well, Chinese buyers made a record purchase of U.S. corn recently that extended a recent flurry of U.S. purchases as tensions continue to grow between the two largest economies in the world. USDA says China bought 1.937 million tons of corn from private exporters. That'll be delivered in the 2021 marketing year. That purchase worth around $325 million. It passed up previous record of 1.76 million tons that was reported earlier in July. In another report, USDA said soybean sales to China rose to 1.925 million tons for the week that ended July 23rd. That was the biggest weekly total since November of 2016. Now, China's purchases of American farm goods totaled $6 billion through May, while the Phase 1 trade deal agreement calls for a total of $36.5 billion in purchases this year. While the $6 billion is 9.1% higher than the same period last year, it's 31% lower than the same time in 2017. And the Agricultural Fairs Rescue Act was introduced in Congress to help preserve agricultural fairs across the nation. The bipartisan legislation also designed to help fairs recover from large financial losses that they've suffered because of COVID-19. A large number of fairs across the country didn't take place this summer because of safety concerns. This bill would provide up to $500 billion in grant funding for agriculture fairs throughout state departments of agriculture to help them function well into the future. More on these and other stories at agview.net. Stay with us. More coming up.